Hello, it's me, Anyango. Hoping that you're living healthy, wealthy, and free, loving your life. I'd just like to discuss FOMO, hashtag F.O.M.O, and the plight that it's had on we the millennials. Because I can only speak for those who are like me, who are my age, who are, in this age group, age set, however you define it. And exactly how FOMO leads to what Brendan, you'll hear me talk about Brendan Bashad a lot, how it leads to what he terms as analysis paralysis. So FOMO stands for the fear of missing out. That feeling that you get when you hear that your friends are having a party and there's no way you're going to miss it, even though you had planned to stay indoors this weekend and read this novel that you've had for the past 3 years and never finished. You've always been on page 56, but suddenly there's no way that you can miss this, and every plan that you have made goes out the window. That's the fear of missing out. And it's a feeling that has kept me lost in trying to figure out what exactly I want to do, based on my purpose, and it keeps me jumping from one dream to the other, because every time I hear about this thing, I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea that I could do. Or I hear about this new one that has come up, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't seem too bad either, so why not do this? And it's just jumping back and forth and not really picking on that one thing or deciding this is the thing that I want to do, because I'm always after the next best thing and not after the one thing that I've picked on. And the beauty of this coronavirus period is that it's left me stuck indoors to stew with my thoughts, with no place to run off to. There is no escapism in this situation. And the first few weeks, of course, had me with music in my ears all day because I could. With Netflix, every time my earphones had to be charging, there was always something telling me about something. And I was never just listening to my own thoughts. And then it got to a point where I was tired of hearing noise, constant, consistent noise, all the time. And I just wanted everything shut out. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to listen to any music. I didn't want to text anyone. I didn't want YouTube, and I especially did not want to hear anymore about the pandemic news, which was everywhere. And so I started to think, if I'm not getting information from other sources, then what information do I have? What information is in my head? And that's when your thoughts start coming to you. And you start wondering, where is this thought coming from? Why did I just think that? What is the purpose of this thought? What's the source of this thought? And it's a pretty freaky situation when you now get to hear your thoughts and get to a point where you want to choose which thoughts you want to keep and which ones you want to let go of. And that brings you to a situation where, again, this analysis paralysis, because you're not sure which thought you want and which thought you don't want, because you could be choosing the wrong one. Fear of missing out. If I don't think this and build up on this, then what if that idea is taken up by somebody else? And that's the one that I should have been doing, and this is the more lucrative one, or this is what I should be talking about. And that's another detriment of social media, because there's so much of this stuff coming in and you're unable to choose. It's just coming. And it can make you crazy until you decide that you don't want anything. So when you're left to think and choose each and every single thought, that's when things begin to get real. And it could be a little bit overwhelming. So if you don't know exactly what it is that you want to think, then you end up having a busy day as opposed to a productive day. It's a busy day of you doing this and then you're doing that and the next one and the next one. You're doing everything but nothing in particular. So I'm going to share a little bit of how I am coping with that, how I am trying to cope with it, how I'm learning to cope with all these thoughts in my head in the next video. And I hope you'll share that and give me your insights on what you think or what your coping mechanisms are in the situation. Thanks.